to introduce Eugenia Concha, who's coming on behalf of Giancarlo Massanti, that is not feeling well, so he apologizes for his absence. Giancarlo, well, he doesn't need much introduction. You actually have seen some projects that I think many of us have done in collaboration with him, so it's also an architect that has been quite important for us as a young generation. And so I'm going to introduce, Eugenia, you're the project director, Giancarlo's office.
It's here. Thank you. Good afternoon. As Luis said, I really want to apologize because Giancarlo, he's quite ill, so he couldn't come, and I'll try to do my best. It's an honor to be here, so thank you for the invitation. This project is one of the 80 educational parks of Fajardo Public Policy Program. It's Marinilla Educational Park. And we want to approach this project in two ways, in the social landscape way and natural landscape. As I say, the project was conceived from the approach of the social landscape and natural landscape to explore the relationship between people and places, the place we are creating as a kind of public condition. What social landscape for us? Architecture is action for us. We are interested in the ability that architecture has behavior, activities happening, and interactions contributor that acts as human relationship construction. Here we have an example that we use quite often in the office at reference is Pedro Reyes, a Mexican artist, hat. When we all get the hat together, the object becomes a communication device. The relationships are completely different, and there are multiply, and we build some kind of relationship. To understand this approach, in Marinilla we develop a workshop with the community, and we ask how they view the place. So this is the concept we develop at Social Landscape. This community meeting, it was to understand the condition of social landscape, and we develop a negotiation with the inhabitants of the place where Marinilla were. They play the role of a bank and emit bills where they drew their identity. They drew the most valued things for them, and the bills represent what's a city, what's the Marinilla, what's the identity of the place, and what Marinilla meant to be. And what we're doing, it was committing the architect into doing the work. We found at the end of the workshop that the family, the domesticity, and the nature were really important in the construction of this community identity. So we didn't have a program, but we find a use of the educational park. So these are some of the bills and the workshop we have with the community. In a way, the community paid for the building with the things they love rather than money, creating a profound bond with the neighborhood, and the conclusions were that they want to promote education in the park, that it was the main aim of the project, but also the sense of family and belongings, Marinilla everyday life based in domesticity, and nature. How the project can be a device capable of promoting planting and an exchange of flower and nature between inhabitants in Marinilla. What we want to produce is to trigger domesticity as a link of community, the value of nature as a condition of identity, and the project like a greenhouse, and the landscape as a mechanism of building community. Also, we work in the office recently with the value of playing, which consists in the construction of a space for learning and human interaction that differs from the everyday space in which every player embodies roles within some very precise norms and rules. We also experiment with the empty spaces and the void. Assert playfulness as a tool that generates architecture that not only serve as functional problem solvers, but as a facilitators, fantasies, and creative opportunities in the space. So here's a video which explains quite well the idea and the conceptualization of the project. In the video were combined both ideas, the idea of the domesticity and also the natural and the building as a natural landscape which connects the two places. It's an connector element, in fact, because it's the faster way to go from one place to the neighborhood to the other. Here we have some renders, and this is the inside with the idea of the nature, the plants, and the value of the land, but also the domesticity with many everyday life elements. Because the value of the project were the empty spaces. Obviously, it has to solve the main object. It was to be an educational project with classrooms and administrative places, but the void has a really important place in the project. And in the natural landscape, we had the growing system and the multiplicity. We really work with rhizomatic structures. I'm going to read it because it's quite complex. Rhizomatic structures allow to allocate the properties of a structural system to architecture. Architecture becomes a mechanism that creates performing space and materials. The idea is to transfer the relationships and the physical structures and material conditions in order for architecture to generate a space for social interactions. And we also work with connection and unfinished networks. We are really experimented with modules and systems growing and with toys that we will see later. This will be more the natural landscape. The building takes part of a hill. It's a contour line and generate these connections between the neighborhood and the sports line, which is in the place. This is another video, I think. Okay. Well, this is just the idea of networks and how the project was conceived. So I think I can, yeah. And the landscape as organic and alive element. More than just an architectural object, we intend to develop landscapes that relate to urban geographies and topographies where they are inserted. We generate operative actions like folding, tearing, creating false topographies, and so on, to build operational structures. So this is the configuration of the project. This is Marinilla, which is close to the airport. And here we have the the project. We have the classrooms over there, but all the other space is the really value space of the project. The project works with the idea of the control line. It belongs to the hill and works as a connection element. The project is wrapped in a mesh facade here, and it becomes a permeable structure with porosity and with dissolved limits that works as a greenhouse. On one side, the project is a urban connector capable to grow and adapt in the same way of a network system is. On the other side, fulfilling its educational program, it becomes a container of classrooms and a space of exchange and production of nature through the planting of orchids. Here we have pictures. These images were taken in a mock-up. The project is not yet operational, but we really hope it will be success. So it was finished in last December, and this is how to build projects that can construct a world based on pacts between human and non-human interest in contradiction. The pictures were taken in January. And finally, we have a video, which is this one. It was supposed to be with sound, but all this video was in a mock-up, so we don't know if it will be success, but we hope so. Thank you.